Alrighty, so we're just going to taxi down to runway 24. We have the center stick here in the 750. We do have the dual stick too. I like the center stick. It's easier to get in and out, less complicated. You can always install the dual stick later. Take you about a day.
I have, I'm used to the dual stick.
Right.
But when you look at the going in and out, the center stick makes sense.
Yes. And it's very, very easy to adapt to the center stick. It's going to take you, you know, really 30 minutes to really feel comfortable in, and after that, you're fine. We do have, you know, it's you mentioned you have a tail dragger. We have a tricycle on the 750, and a lot of customers, they'll say, why do you want a tricycle for a bush airplane? And you'll see on takeoff, the nose wheel comes up instantly, so you're acting basically as a tail dragger at that point. You're not digging that nose in the ground. And the same way with land, you're keeping that nose off when you're landing.
When you look at the clearance you have on the tail,
right,
out in the desert, when you have to do a turn at the end of the runway, it's actually easier because you don't have that tail wheel on the ground. So
right,
and especially with the angle of attack when you take off, the tail dragger is limited.
Right.
Normally you have the tail in the air anyway, so you can do a little bit of a thing, but then your tail wheel is touching the runway.
Exactly. We have the Jabiru 6-cylinder 120 horse in here. You can either put the Rotax, the Jabiru, the UL Power 118, 130. You're limited up to 160 horse, so I have some customers putting the 0320 in it. It'll make a fairly heavy airplane if you do that. The Viking engine, the Air Momentum, Corvair, all of those have been proven in this model.
Yeah, it's always the weight power, you know.
Yep, exactly.
It doesn't help you have 100, let's say 34 horsepower more, but you also add weight, so.
Exactly. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to run up the Jabiru here and check both ignitions. And temperatures are coming up in the oil, so there's our tack. The Dynon or any glass cockpit takes you a few hours to get used to it just because you just don't know where some of the things are located. Controls clear and free. Now I'm going to lower the flaps about half for takeoff. I don't have an indication on my dyno. Just look out. About half there. My gas is on. Doors locked secure.
Where is your flap?
Switch right here. Electric switch.
Okay.
Yep. And that's standard is electric. And what we're going to do for a short takeoff is, what I like to do is I like to have the stick all the way back, brakes on, add power. The nose will come up instantly, and then I just go forward with the stick so I can basically see over the nose. It's not going to take off any shorter if I keep the stick back. It's just more impressive looking. And we'll just climb out, get out of the area, and fly around, do some turn, come back in. We can do a couple landings if you want. Get up too high today.
I just want to get a little feel.
Yep. And Mexico traffic, Experimental 750 STOL is going to be departing runway 24. Will be a south departure for local flight Mexico. All right, so what I like to do, add the brake. Stick back. Nose comes up instantly. And that's, we got the prop set for more of a cruise setting than a STOL. So if you had it adjusted for more of a takeoff, plus if you were lightly loaded, maybe a little bit more wind, you could just see how much shorter you could go. And that was a very short takeoff to begin with.
Well, the wind is also blowing that direction, yeah.
Yep, but it's only like 5 or 6 knots, so it's not like 15.
That's interesting how the nose just came up.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, if you go land on, you know, riverbeds and stuff like that, you don't have to worry about that nose digging in the ground.
Yeah, the nose is the weak. The nose wheel is the weak point on the whole landing gear, but
it is.
If you have it up.
Exactly. And you'll see on my landings too, I'm doing the same thing. The nose, when it touches, I'm probably at 2 to 3 miles an hour. I'm walking.
Mexico traffic, Experimental 000 to 42-4, Mexico.
And Steve said that you can run it without the doors. You can remove the doors, huh?
Yep. We've done some testing and flown without the doors. A lot of customers are doing it. Some customers build half doors, little windbreakers and stuff, just because of the vibration. And Or just, you know, after several hours it just gets old, so you want to block that wind a little bit.
So what's your failed elevation here?
822.
Okay.
And we'll trim it out there. Trimmed out very nicely. A lot of positive stability comes right back to the neutral setting. I had it trimmed a little better. Get out here just a few more miles and then I'll let you fly it. The rudder, what we used to have the bungee suspension for the nose gear.
Yep.
And the rudder pedal was very stiff. So what we've come up with in the last year is we have a puck system. It's a silicone disc in between about 10 of them. And really lighten the loads on the nose wheel.
I see.
Looking nice.
Hope to make it home.
So you do a lot of demo flights?
I do. I probably average one a day. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a turn to my right. What I like about the 750 STOL is you can see right over the wing. So when I turn your way or my way, you'll see that.
And the outside visibility is really good because you can see down here.
Uh-huh. See right over the wing there?
Yep.
Go ahead and feel it. Or you can fly it.
Do you need a lot of rudder?
No, it's a full moving rudder, so there's very little rudder input needed. I always add a little bit of rudder before I add the aileron, before the input. It's just my technique.
I'm going to do a 360 here.
Sure. And if you ever hear any oil canning in the back, it's because you're uncoordinated, and I don't have any sound deadening in the back, so you might hear just a little bit, but that's it.
What did I hear?
If you hear any oil canning, you know, like when we come into land, if you're uncoordinated, you'll hear some things, but it's not an issue at all. It's not a problem.
So why would it make a sound?
If you're uncoordinated, the air hitting the side of the fuselage.
Okay. Oh, so you don't need a ball here, you see that you...
Right, yeah, you could just listen in the back.
Really?
Exactly. Lower the nose a little bit. There you go. Don't want to get in those little clouds there.
Where is the airport?
It's just right up here. We're fine.
Okay, so we're fine here.
So
Yeah,
we're fine.
let me do another 360.
Okay.
I'll get a little rudder here and see how that...
Oh, you're doing quite well. Yeah, this would be awesome to take out to Arizona and land on all the out there in the Arizona and the mountain areas and riverbeds and.
Oh, we have a lot of flat areas or strips or roads, and right, you can land. It's a little hot in the summer, but in the winter it's really good. So
oh yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, your summer's about ready to come up pretty soon.
Yeah, it's we're tired now, so. So what would be a stall warning here? So what if you get into stall?
All you're going to do, we'll get a slow flight, even though we're not very high today. We'll be conservative just in case anything happens. We want to be prepared. But a stall in the 750 STOL, all it's going to do is develop a high sink rate. So you're not going to brake and anything like that.
It will go smoothly down.
Exactly. So I went ahead and added some flaps, put the carb heat on, and we'll bring it to slow flight. And we're in the 40-mile-an-hour range. We'll just fly around here for a second, let you know it can fly in the 40s or 30s. And then once we indicate the buffet, then we're going to recover just because we are not as high as we'd like to be. Yeah, that's basically the stall right there. It just doesn't do anything.
It gets really soggy.
It does, and that's how you're going to land. What you're going to do is you're going to develop you're going to be a high approach coming into the airport, and you're going to develop almost a stall coming in and develop a high sink rate, and then you're going to have to adjust power and pitch all the time to keep it from developing a 800,000-900,000 foot sink rate. But then you can land very short by doing that. You just got to catch it at the last minute. Or you can just do a flat approach like a 150 to learn how to fly the airplane until you develop that skill.
Yeah, after a few 100 hours, you probably know how to do it.
Yeah,
so.
And you said you got 1,000 hours in the kit box. Probably 10 hours, you're going to be very confident in this airplane. I mean, probably 5.
Yeah. Well, if you always fly your own airplane, you really adjust yourself, or you become one thing,
Right.
Because you know exactly what to. I don't look at the instruments sometimes, but
exactly.
You get the feel for it. So
you feel the vibration, the noise, the smell. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you want to go in and we'll do a couple landings?
Yeah, let's do a landing. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do our pre-flight gas undercarriage mixture prop seat belts. Looks nice. And we're going to enter the downwind 45. And what I like to do is beam the numbers. I'll bring back power, bring it to the white arc, lower the flaps a little bit, and start my descent rate from there.
So what is our speed right now? So
we're going about 85 miles an hour with power back.
Yep.
Typically, this airplane setup, it'll go about 95 to 100 miles an hour when I've got the prop set.
And you said that the prop set is more of a cruise right now.
It is, yes. A lot of customers, the takeoff that we did today is 99% of my customers don't need to see that short of a takeoff. So they'll have it where it can cruise 100, 105 miles an hour. And they're still taking off a lot shorter than the 150 or 172.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so we'll beam the numbers, bring back power, and we're in the white, so we're going to deploy a little bit of flaps and start our descent.
I assume that you have been at Oshkosh this summer, huh?
Oh, yes. Yeah, it was a nice show this year. Soggy start, but it ended up pretty nice show.
It's just too busy for me. Too many people. So I don't get the full attention if I come here.
Right.
I get the.
You're exactly
good
right.
treatment. So.
Yeah, Mexico Jet Experimental Space to final 24.
And flaps are already deployed. And we'll try to land right on the threshold there. We'll pretend like there's a little obstacle here. And the power's all the way back. And now we're going to bring the nose up, develop a little sink rate. I could slip it, but you don't need to. Just be patient. It'll come down. Now it's starting to develop a high sink rate, 600, 700, 800 feet. So I'm going to have to start adding just a touch of power when I get a little closer.
Yep.
I could add a little power to keep that nose off a little longer. We're going to go around again and try that.
You would need a little bit more runway then.
Yep.
But,
yep.
Hey, Mexico traffic experimental is going to be departing 24 Mexico.
Add a little bit of power. I don't even have it all the way in, just to show you. And now I'm going to start adding the rest of the power. So if you're on a bumpy area, you don't want to add it all at once. A little bit of right rudder. And we've cleared our obstacle. We'll bring up the flaps. Nice thing about the 750, you have great visibility, so you can do sharp turns and tight-in approaches and still be able to see everything.
And the cabin, the spaces, oh, it's...
Yeah. Alright, we're getting close to our beamer number, so bring back power, get the speed down, add the flaps.
So you could have just added a little more power and you would just grease it in.
Okay, we'll do that this time. Yep. Basically, we'll do a soft field landing. Let's just say it's a field. It's not a long field, but it's the soft field, and we need to keep that nose off as long as we can.
Hey, Mexico traffic experimental short final for 24 Mexico.
You can tell I used to fly tail draggers too. I'm always moving my feet.
Oh yeah, you have to.
Yeah, just good to stay in practice. Okay, so we're gonna just kind of now start bringing the nose up, adding a little power, add a little power. There we go. Just not much. Just we can keep that nose off.
You can keep it off, huh?
Look how slow we're going.
You have to be careful with your tail then.
Yeah, yeah. And then now we can gradually.
Oh yeah. Hardly any speed anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So you know, if you're in a rough area, you can do that. And there again, it's just all practice knowing your airplane, just like you said. Well, anything else?
Let's do one more.
One more? Okay,
yep.
Sure.
And then
you want to do no flap takeoff? Maybe C?
Yeah.
Or?
Yep.
Okay, we'll do that.
So what did you have full flap when you came in here right now?
I did, yes.
Okay.
And then I was using the first two takeoffs half flaps. Yep. And this time we'll use, I tell you what, we won't do a short takeoff, we'll just do a normal takeoff,
yep.
Like a Cessna would. Stick a little bit past the neutral setting, we'll add full power, and gradually as the speed increases, lift off the nose, and then we'll rotate.
And with your front wheel, you have a good control.
Uh-huh.
So
yes,
with a rudder.
Yep, direct link to the nose gear, so that's not a castering nose wheel, it's really a nice setup.
So that was a normal takeoff, so that's... Yep.
Well, I think you're one of my first customers. We've got these new David Clark headsets on here, and they seem like they work very nice. I like them a lot. Seem fine?
They're fine, yeah. I don't know what they will cost, but that's yeah, it's a competitive field, you know, with the headsets.
It is. I've had David Clark's quite a few years, their older versions, and I was very happy with the quality and the service of their product.
40 years ago, that was the name, you know.
Right, right.
And then the new kids came, like the Bose and
right. Yeah, I like these though.
Yeah, you need to know. You need them.
You need headsets. Yeah.
I remember when I went to flight school in the 70s or 80s, 70s. We did not have headsets.
Nope, you know? Exactly. I didn't either.
Yeah, the mic and yeah.
So what type of landing do you want me to do on this one?
Just a normal landing.
Just a normal landing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we won't use full flaps, but let's use about half.
And Mexico traffic, experimental is getting ready to turn base for runway 24 Mexico.
So while you're flying, you use no rudder?
I do. I use a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
But you don't have to. A lot of customers will have their feet off the floor. Even a turn and the ball will be barely out.
You got this headset for testing, or?
We did.
Mexico traffic, experimental base to final, 24 Mexico.
If you compare the 750 with the 701, which one you fly? Which one you prefer?
Well, it just depends on your mission. Yeah, definitely the 701 can take off and land a lot shorter because it is a lighter airplane.
Yep.
But for comfort and easier getting in and out, easier building, the 750 is a much better product. And the 701 is really designed and built around the Rotax 912S, or the Rotax engine.
Yep.
Whereas if you put any other engine, it's just going to make it too heavy.
Yep.
Where the 750, we designed it around so many different engines. Yeah, we're just going to do a normal approach landing.
Okay, so you're
keep a little bit of power in. Yep, 60 is good speed.
So we go 60 over the numbers.
Yep. Like somebody learning, this would probably be a really good example. So we'll just keep the power in like that. Don't even have to hold it. And just inch your way down.
You could float for the length of the runway if you want to.
And then hit the power once you touch, and then
down.
Yeah.
And it stays on the center line.
Uh-huh. Yeah, not like your tail dragger. You're flying it the whole way till it's in the hangar.
And when the other thing is with a tail dragger, mine is not too bad, but others you don't see anything in front of you. You have to go left and right, left and right, and here. It's also it's safe. It's just safer to taxi.
Exactly.
And this wheels here, this is the upgrade kit on that
the
one.
bigger tires, yes.
Yeah, the front one is the original one, I think.
Correct.
The standard one. And the brakes are working good for?
It does, yes. I mean, they'll definitely hold a little bit more than your run-up, but not much more, but you don't need any more braking for that anyway.
Yeah. If you have to do extreme short field, do you use the brake? Do you apply brakes or?
If I'm on grass, I'll lock the brakes in the air and touch down with full lock brakes on grass, and that works out very nice.
Really?
Uh-huh. Well, you just slide.
Yeah. That's scary. Well, you have to, it's not a tail dragger. Tail dragger, you have to be careful that you're not flipping over. But here you have the front wheel, so that certainly avoids it. You need to do crazy things that you have flip over with the front wheel. So.
Right. Now, does your wife want to go up and go around real quick?
No.
Okay.
So this is how many horsepower is that engine?
This is 120.
120.
Uh-huh.
That's probably good. That's 120 will be a good number.
Yeah, and it really is. It's a really good number, exactly. 100 is just a little bit light, especially if you're area high density altitudes and stuff, yes. All right, to shut down is just the key.